Hey everybody, Karen Anderson here with Aortic Hope, and we have a very special pop-up event that's happening today. Before we get started, I'd like you guys to click that like button and click the bell so that you're notified about great events like this. Happy Rare Disease Day. This is the closest I've got to being a zebra. It's my really muted camo print here. But I wanted to welcome Ariel Brown. She is with an organization called Savvy. And I didn't want to even give this away. I wanted her to have the platform and give you guys a chance to talk about Savvy. The only hint I'll tell you is it has something to do with Rare Disease Day. So Ariel, welcome. Go ahead, share with everybody as much as you can about what Savvy is and what Savvy will do for us.
Awesome. Will do. Thank you so much for having me, Karen. I'm super excited to be here. So, Savvy is the first and only patient owned public benefit co op. So, what that means is that we are patient owned, we are owned by patients. We serve patient communities and we're also operated by patients. Lots of members on our team are patients themselves. Savvy, what we do is we connect patients and caregivers with healthcare innovators to make a better healthcare system and to co-create healthcare solutions that don't suck, that actually do serve patient and caregiver communities. And so we do that through research. We have one-on-one interview type of projects. We also do asynchronous workshops. We do asynchronous product testing. Really anything that our client asks for, we're able to facilitate with our patients and caregivers. We consider ourselves to be the marketplace or the match.com for patient and caregiver insights. And so our main goal, like I said, is to connect the patients and caregivers with these healthcare innovators. And we also want to bring in diverse patient and caregiver voices. It's super important to us that we're not hearing from the same group of people who've always had a seat at the table. We're looking to reach new folks and to reach new people who want to share their voices and be a part of co-creating these sorts of healthcare solutions. Savvy was started by two patients. So Jen Horanjev, she is a juvenile idiopathic arthritis patient, and Ronnie Sharp, he's a cystic fibrosis patient. So they've had this patient experience their entire lives and found that a lot of the time, Jen is an academic and she was being contacted by her colleagues throughout school to give her expertise of what it's like to be a juvenile idiopathic arthritis patient. And, she's like, I am but one person. I cannot speak for the entire juvenile idiopathic arthritis community. And so I need to find a place where we can have more people and more perspectives come in. And Ronnie, in a similar vein, he's a cystic fibrosis patient and was being given a seat at the table very often to speak about his cystic fibrosis and was being asked very strange questions about, he was being asked if he could talk for somebody who was living in an urban area and she was a single mom. And he's like, I am not that at all, And so they really connected on that and just were like, we can't speak for the entire community. We need to be reaching more people. And so that is why Savvy was created. We have a co-op model. So like I said, we are owned by patients, which does make us different from other types of market research kind of companies. Because we're owned by patients, we have a very niche way of reaching out to patient communities because it comes from very culturally competent and very sensitive types of ways of reaching out to our communities. And so that's something that I really like about Savvy is that we're not only talking the talk but also walking the walk. Something that I think is also really wonderful about us is that we make sure that we verify every patient who comes into our system because we want to make sure people are who they say they are. We want to make sure that the insights that we gather are truly valuable for our clients and also for our patients. We want to make sure that they feel like they're really being given a voice and that they are being valued for that voice. Speaking on the value side of things, Savvy makes sure that patients and caregivers are compensated within 24 hours of completing any project that we do. This compensation can be, it can be received as like a regular direct deposit, or it can be received in a gift card because we understand, since we are patients also, that sometimes if someone is on disability or something that they can't receive a certain amount of money per month. And so we want to make sure that we're giving people options outside of just receiving a check, so that they can have that compensation and still feel like they can participate in our projects. We also compensate for referrals, which is something that Aortic Hope is going to be participating in as a referral program. where organizations or individuals can refer people to projects that we have going on, and they can receive compensation for referring those people. And once those people are chosen for that project, Aortic Hope or the individual can receive that compensation, and it could be used to continue programming. It can be used as a raffle off of a gift card for your patient community if that's something that you wanted to do. It's just a thank you from Savvy to you for bringing more people involved into our platform, into our system, our ecosystem rather. um yeah, I spoke a lot.
That was a
That's
lot.
sort of that.
But
Yes.
it's so, so good. I mean, that just kind of laid it out. And now we can back up and talk a little bit about this. I think people's initial impression of marketing organizations is that it's all for
Mhm.
pharmaceutical and they're going to take all my information and it's not
Right.
anonymous. And what does this mean? And people are going to find out things about me and it impacts insurance.
Hmm.
There's there's a lot of positive with this, but there's also some negative connotation. So how do you
Hmm.
handle those concerns or objections when it comes
Absolutely.
to those questions?
Yeah, so privacy is of the utmost importance to Savvy because we're patients ourselves. We understand that, we don't want anybody to feel like they're being compromised for participating in anything that we're doing. So patients own their own data before anything. Like when you sign up for our platform, that is your data and you own that. We don't use it in any way, shape, or form unless you decide to apply for a gig, and then we have the consent form that is given then. But and at any point up until then, patients own their data. Whenever we do a project, we make sure that our clients understand we go through a whole contracting process, and we make sure that they understand that any eligible participant data is always confidential. So when we have clients that work with us, they have a blinded list that they are given at the end of that project once it's done. So there's no way that they can recontact any patients that are involved in that project, and there's no way that they can identify even who those patients are connected to what they said in an interview or in a workshop. We always make sure that we're keeping patients completely protected because that's our bread and butter, right? We want to make sure that we are always just taking care of them because we understand that it can be scary to participate in these sorts of things,
Yeah.
but it's important to us to make sure that they know that Savvy is a safe place and that they can speak with us freely. We also have patient researchers on our team, and we try our best to keep all of our research in house because we understand when you're speaking to another patient, because you have that camaraderie and know like, okay, this person's gone through a lot too, like I know that I can speak to them about these things because it's like a, oh, kind of
Right.
way of thinking, right, rather than speaking to somebody who may not have that experience. And so we have the patient researchers on our team that we work with, and we also make sure that if our researchers aren't doing the research, that we work with the people who are, to make sure that they're asking questions about the entire patient journey and not just about the medical condition, because it's about ultimately everything that the patient
Mhm.
goes through. And we're always focused on making sure that patient journey and caregiver journey is of utmost importance and number one.
Okay. I want to take everybody through a little bit on what signing up and what this whole experience with Savvy looks like. Before we do that, I want to warn everybody there's some gremlins living in my internet connection. Don't know when they're going to pop up. When they pop up, I could pop out, pop away. So it might just be for a few seconds. If it looks like it's going to be longer, I've got my cell phone. I'm ready to join you again. So don't go anywhere. And if anybody is watching and has questions, feel free to put them in the comments section. So let's take it through. Aortic Hope will be launching first thing tomorrow morning. You will see on our website, also mentioned on our Facebook page and Instagram, on Twitter, and all of our places, an opportunity for them to come onto our website and sign up for Savvy. Now, so if I understand correctly, they're going to use the link we're providing. That's going to enable them to sign up. They're going to have to verify that sign up, that login, by going back into the email that they
Mhm.
provided. And you do that because you don't want to have anybody sign up with passwords, which I find really great. There's no,
Mhm.
I don't have to remember anything. And I love that. I just need to
Exactly.
verify who I am. So then they're going to verify who they are. And now it's going to open up the page. And are you on the page where you can show them where to click on gigs? Because I love that you guys call them gigs, right? Let's go.
Yes.
Let's share your screen and let's take them through this a little bit, because I know when I learned it with you,
Awesome.
I was a little like, oh, I'm so confused. But then when I did it, I was
Sure.
like, I'm not really confused. This is great.
Yes. No problem. I can absolutely do that. So let's see here.
And as people are going to sign up with you, if you have any questions when you're trying to sign up with Savvy, you can always send an email to info@Aortic Hope. We can help you walk through that process. Again, everything that we provide to the community is merely for informational purposes. We support these organizations that are looking to support the company. So you're doing all of this on your own free will. But if you have a question, please let us know.
Yes.
Disclaimer, disclaimer,
Alrighty. Can
disclaimer.
everyone see my screen?
We can.
Awesome. Okay, so this is what the Savvy platform looks like. As you can see here, we've got several different gigs that we have going and are live right now. We are disease agnostic, meaning that we work in every treatment area. Since Savvy's inception, we've worked in 350 treatment areas and counting. So we are always looking to, get insights from as many different types of people as we can. I will go through would you like me to go through the login process or just click on a
Sure,
gig?
sure. So if they see the link to log in with us, and then what happens once they
Yes,
logging in as a person?
yes. So what you'll do is you'll click the sign up slash sign in button that was here in the top right hand corner, and then you're going to enter your email address. So you'll want to enter in your personal email address that you would like to have your account connected with. And so you'll click the sign up slash sign in button. From there, it's going to send you a magic link in your email. So this part you won't see because I think, or unless you can see, you might be able to see this part too.
Don't see anything
So
yet,
we're
so we're
gonna,
okay.
okay, got it. So we're gonna click into the email and then you just click in your login button and let's share this.
That
Alrighty, and so now it takes you to your profile. So from here, you can see you'll type in your first and last name, your date of birth, and then the email this will automatically fill because you have connected your email to this account. And then from there, you'll choose your gender, your racial or ethnic group, and then all of this sort of information, you can choose whether or not you really want to put it in. However, it does help us when we're going to be putting out those specific emails for people who are of these do have these demographics, and it helps us to have as much information as possible. And again, this information is not owned by us, it's owned by you. It's just a way for us to be able to identify exactly who you are and what you have or what you do. So then we'll go into the next section here, and you'll fill out all of this information. Again, you can choose what you'd like to put in. And then we're going to save and review the next. From here, this is honestly the most important part that you'll want to have is to select your health conditions. And so we've got, as you can see, a drop down list here of lots and lots and lots of different healthcare conditions. And then we also have a section here where it says if you weren't able to find your specific health condition, you can list it in here. So you can say, exactly what it is that you have. We have this here because, like I mentioned before, we want to make sure that when we're sending out our emails that we're able to target the people who do have those specific conditions so that they know that there is a gig that is available for them right then and there. So you can either scroll through this list or you can type in exactly what it is. So let's say you're looking for, let's do preeclampsia. That is here. Or if you have aortic, there you go, an abdominal
mhm.
aortic aneurysm, whatever the case may be. We've got a very long list of things that you can choose from. And like I said, if it's not there, you can go here. You can put in any medications you take. And then from there, you can save and view our gigs. So the verification process comes in once you apply for a gig. So let's say you want to go through and apply for, let's see if I've got one for any heart disease right now. I am not 100% sure. It might have closed already. Oh, here we go. We're looking for people who've been diagnosed with an oncology, neurological, and or cardiovascular condition. So as you can see, it's a 60-minute video interview from home. That is our most common type of research, is the in-depth interview from home in the comfort of your own house, and it's for an hour. Our fair market value we consider to be $110 per hour. So that is what we advocate for every project that we do. As you can see, that's the same thing that goes for here, same thing that goes from here. That is our main goal, is to make sure that patients are getting fairly compensated. So when you click on learn more, you are then able to see the eligibility criteria. So for this one, it's really not that deep. It's just you're diagnosed with an oncology, neurological, and or cardiovascular condition. And from there, you can either apply to this gig or you can refer people to join Savvy's platform. And then if they're chosen for that gig, you, and in this case, because Aortic Hope has connected your account, Aortic Hope and you will receive the referral reward for referring somebody to Savvy. And
Now
so
they only receive we only receive the referral reward if that person is actually chosen
it's
to go to
chosen.
completion on the gig. Correct.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
And so from here, you can click apply to this gig, and that's going to take you through our screener. So this is just to confirm your details. As you can see, because I already have an account with Savvy, I don't have to go in and submit my information each and every time because it's already in my profile. And so I just confirm that this is who I am and that all of this is exactly what it is. And then I can click continue from there. Again, just confirming the details that I've already put into my account. And then it's going to take me to our general screener. And so from there, you'll choose which of these applies to you. And then you can decide which of these applies to you and you click submit. And it's that simple. And so would you like for me to stop sharing now?
Sure. Sure, that's fine. So then once you
Awesome.
submit, you might get an email back that says, "Hey, you look like you're a good fit for this. We need to verify who you are." And this was the thing, and I
Hmm.
was honest with you that when this came in, my initial reaction was, "What? I'm not doing that," because it said
Right.
in order you can do a variety of things to verify. You can get a doctor's note. I'm like, "I'm not doing that." You can take a picture of a medication. I said, "I'm not doing that." And I honestly felt like it was slightly intrusive until I realized, "Oh, wait a minute. Anybody could be saying they have this." I get it.
Exactly.
But the other
Hmm.
option was is I could link up to my survivor stories or to a bio, to anything that
Hmm.
is on the internet where there's a link that explains that I have this condition. And so that's what I did. So community
Hmm.
members can just, if you've done a survivor story with us, you can just put that link to the YouTube video or your blog. If you've participated in an American Heart Association article, you can put that. If there's a news article, you can put that. And that's just to allow Savvy to verify that you actually have this condition because you've put it out there for the
Right.
world to know anyway. And then you probably, hopefully, will get the next email that says, "We verified you. You're good to go. We're pushing you on to the client." Now,
Hmm.
if you're not a fit, you're going to get an email that says, "Thanks so much, but you're not really a fit, but keep your eye out for new gigs." That's fine. But in the event that you're told, "Okay, this looks good, we're going to pass you on to the client," what is the approximate wait time so we have expectations on when we'll find out if we're going to be chosen to participate in a survey or an interview?
So it really does depend on the client. As I mentioned before we began, before our live, we do have it really does depend. So sometimes it can be 2 weeks and sometimes it can be a month. It really depends on our client and what their timeline looks like because more often than not, there's things that they have to go through on the back end that we have to wait for at Savvy before we can continue to push forward with the project. So it really does depend. However, typically it is within a month or two that we do close a gig. And so typically you can expect to receive some kind of confirmation or letting you know that you hadn't been chosen within that time period.
Now, are we getting that email from Savvy on behalf of the client, or we're going to get an email from
Yes.
the client?
You'll get an email from Savvy.
Okay.
All the communication that we do is all through us, and so we're very protective of our patients, and so we want to make sure that those kind of contact information is not necessarily available to our client, and so that information is what we have, and we're able to send the communication that way.
And who are we actually doing this interview with? And is it through video or is it just on the
Mhm.
phone? Like what technology do you have to have in order to participate if you're chosen?
So it does depend. We do our most common type of interview is a 60-minute video interview, like a Zoom meeting. And answering the question of who you do it with, it does depend. However, we try to keep all of our research in house because we have patient researchers. And so more often than not, it is going to be someone from my team who will be interviewing you, and then we'll have our clients privy to that information that then they can, they're able to find or have their learnings outside of the interview process, but it is typically with a patient researcher who is on our team. However, we do asynchronous projects as well, and that is through Savvy's own platform. That's not the patient platform, but it is, once you apply, you're chosen for the gig. We have an additional platform that you do workshops on. And so a workshop could be, a short answer kind of form, and you're answering questions based on the questions that the clients had, and that's how you do that. Or it can be a survey, it can be a focus group. It does depend on the project, but more often than not, you're going to be doing the 60-minute virtual interview. And for that, all you'll need is a computer or a phone.
Okay. So this seems really simple now that I've gone through it with you a couple of times. There's going to be a link on our website, on Facebook, that will allow you to do the sign up through this link. So it's just going to kind of alter your page a little bit. You're going to click the link and do everything that Ariel just showed you. You're going to sign up. You're going to answer the questions that are starred as non-optional, and the others you can choose to answer. Take yourself
Mhm.
through that. Spend the time to find all of your medical conditions. What's great about this is that us here at Aortic Hope, we don't have to chase anybody down to say, hey, there's this new gig, there's this new gig. I don't know everybody's medical history, but that can stay personal with you. And then
Mhm.
the patient or the caregiver, once they have all of this information up and they're done and they're taken to the back to the general screen, can click check, let me check out the gigs. So they're going to go to the gigs. And if they see a gig and they're like, oh, my next door neighbor has this, they can copy that link and send it in an email to their neighbor and be like, hey, I know you have this, like you should do this. That's going to go right
Exactly.
through Aortic Hope. So it's like no fuss, no muss for us. It's now just going to spread out. But now you're giving your neighbor a chance to potentially earn money and more importantly, participate in the future, a part of their health care. And I think
Mhm.
this is great. And again, I love that this is run by patients, created by patients, that people that are affiliated with this organization, who doesn't have some kind of medical condition? I mean, maybe that baby,
Right.
maybe a baby born like right this second, but everybody ends up with
Mhm.
something. We all have something, you
Exactly.
know, and so that kind of brings us all together. And I support any organization that allows patients and caregivers to have their opinions and their voices heard. This is always just an
Mhm.
option for people. You don't have to do any of this, but at least you know it's there. And check back every
Exactly.
now and then, right? They just check back and look at the gigs. It's very simple keywords. Boop, 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 boop. Now, eventually, you will have the ability to zap out an email and say, hey, we just got this new thing for you. We know that these are your keywords, right? So it becomes even
Yes.
easier as we keep
Yes.
growing this, right?
We're consistently developing, consistently releasing out new features and everything. So getting it a part of, or getting to be a part of it now is really exciting because you're kind of a part of something freshly beginning, right? And
Right.
so there's always going to be more functionalities that are coming out as we continue to develop.
I love it. And then if you have any other really big questions and we're like, we can't answer that, we can just send everybody to Ariel and you'll be more than happy
Yes.
to answer these questions, right? At best of your ability.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'm going to check in and see if we have any questions from the community. I mean, we might not because it's like lunchtime some places, people are some places just getting started, and that's okay. So let me just see if there's any comments or questions.
Let's say hi to Deb, Jolly Workaholic. I think that's how you say it, workaholic.
I think that sounds good too. Well, we will call it that, but that's Deb from our board. Thanks so much taking a minute away from your busy day, Deb. I know that you're having a busy day. Your new last name is now Workaholic. That's what we're going to call you. I'll tell you, Josh, offline how it's really pronounced, but I'm sure she's chuckling, especially after I know how her day's been because they got a lot of snow up there. She's up in the Connecticut area, and so
Oh,
when you get
cold.
a lot of snow, can't have all your employees in. So she is a workaholic today, for sure. Thanks, Deb, for checking in with us.
Right on. She
That's
said
hysterical.
signing up was quick and easy. I said, hey, Deb, when did you sign up? And she said, I signed up a couple of weeks ago.
Ah, wonderful. That's right, because we did a beta test with our board. I sent out the Aortic Hope link and got everybody to do it, and I got everybody's feedback. And everybody's feedback was pretty much the same. They all had the same questions, which now you've answered, and now we all know. And it was pretty painless because I provided a cheat sheet. For me, it was just very painful. I don't know. Josh would probably say, of course it was for you. I tend to make things a little bit more difficult than I need to. But you were very patient. You were wonderful. You You were like, no, let's try this again. This is what we're going to do. And then it clicked. The light bulb went on. I'm like, I totally understand. It's really very easy. It really is so simple. Once you see our link tomorrow, sign up, refer people. I mean, and the payout beyond just the satisfaction of knowing you're helping the community, just for whatever your
Mhm.
other conditions are, the payout amounts are just very generous, which helps you vet your clients too, because they got to pay a pretty penny to do this.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. Savvy is cooperatively owned. And so even though we are a for-profit company, we redistribute everything that we make to our patient co-owners because we want to give back in multiple ways, right? And so
yeah,
we're always looking to just be advocates for our communities. And so, yes, the clients do need to pay a pretty penny to be involved because we make sure that our patients and caregivers who participate with us are fairly compensated for their voices because they're the experts. They're the experts in their bodies and what they go through, and so we should pay for that expertise.
exactly,
Right
exactly.
on, right on. And then Molly Thomas said hi. And I said, hey, Molly, we're launching this service tomorrow. We'll have a referral link by then. She says, exciting. And then she had a
It is
question.
exciting.
She
What? What's the
says,
question?
can you reiterate the privacy policies? Smiley emoji.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, so Savvy is 100% committed to patient and caregiver privacy. How it works is that you own your data, the patient and caregiver or caregiver owns their data before they go out into anything. When they're signing up for a profile, you own that. We don't have access, we don't sell that, we don't do anything with that. That is just your profile information. We do have the consensual sort of basis. And so when you apply for a project, you're then, if you're chosen for that project, you're then given a consent form to be for us to share that information with our clients. But that information is shared through a blinded list, and so your identity is not attributed to any of the information that you put into the interview, that you put into the workshop. It is purely just the insight. And then it would say, person one or person two. It's not your first and last name is not at all attributed to it. Your birthday is not attributed to it. It is purely just the insight that our clients are looking for. We go through an entire very long process that with of contracts, making sure that our people or our clients know that the eligible participant data is confidential and it is blinded, the kind of list that they'll receive. And so we have lots of different steps that we go through to make sure that the patient and caregiver is protected.
There you go. Very thorough answer. I like it. Okay. Do we have any other questions before we wrap this up and I can start working on getting ready to launch this tomorrow?
Right. Molly says, thank you.
You're very
Of course.
welcome. Very welcome, Molly. All right. Well, again, I'm in my very bad version of my zebra for Rare Disease Day, but I did my best. I see you're at least in gray and white. That's kind of
Yeah,
close
I've
to
got
zebra
my
color.
Savvy merch on, my our
I love it.
hashtag Ask Patients. Yeah.
I like that. That's great. I do love that. All right, Ariel, thank you so much for that very easy explanation about everything from anonymity to the process to the payout to the benefits of just helping out this organization or any other organization by participating in surveys. We really appreciate it. And I loved being able to launch this today on Rare Disease Day with you from
Yes.
Savvy. So thank you again so much for joining us.
Of course, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And if anyone has any questions, like you said, my emails are open. My email is Ariel. That's Eriel. I know I throw a little curveball at people with the E, but it is Eriel at Savvy, which is SAVVY.coop, COOP, which stands for co-op.
Very good. I love that too. All right. Reminder again for everybody watching, please click like, please click the bell. Then you won't miss anything like this in the future. And please click share. Drop us a comment as well. We'd really appreciate it. And until next time when we have a pop up, thank you guys so much. And we're excited to launch tomorrow. Check it out. Thank you.
Woohoo. Thank you.